Welcome to CAS 133, Columbia Gorge Community College, the Dalles, Oregon, Mrs. Hughitt instructor. We are going to be focused on iMovie for the final project with this video. It is kind of a summary video. You need to watch the intro video, and you need to watch and listen to the PowerPoint video and PowerPoint audio files on the actual PowerPoint for all the details for the assignment. Quick reminders, you need to have your name on the title page. Obviously, you need to have your title of the project as well. There is a PowerPoint to go with this, with the audio, so please watch and listen to that because it will have more details than this has. Just a quick reminder, you do have to submit this to get anything higher than a C for the term. So if you have an A going into it and you don't submit a final project, you've dropped to a C. If you have a low C and you don't turn in the final project and you drop 100 points, you may end up with a D, which is not a passing score. With iMovie, obviously, if you don't have it on your machine, you'll have to download it. And on one of the weeks that we were doing, the download was listed. So just kind of go back up until you get to the other iMovie materials. Back in the photo story week a couple weeks ago, and you can get iMovie downloaded. It does need to have at least 2 PowerPoint slides in it. We'll talk a little bit about how you create those here in a minute. You need to have a title slide and an ending or source slide, depending on what your needs are for your presentation. Your title slide and your ending source slide can be made in PowerPoint. Please make sure it looks obviously like a PowerPoint. Use some themes, designs, word art, something. You can make it just as fancy as you usually do and really enjoy jazzing it up a bit. Use some shapes, whatever you'd like to do with that. And there are some resources in Moodle that I mentioned in the opening video about how to use still images in iMovie, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're not going out and shooting a video, bringing a video in and editing it. That is not our use for this. This is going to be individual still shots like a camera takes, camera photos, or screenshot photos, or drawings that you've done in paintbrush or scanned in. If you're an artist, you scan in some of your art. It's going to be JPEG images you're going to be using to create this from, just so we're clear. You can add music either from within iMovie or from another source. The nice thing about iMovie is it will let you interface very nicely with iTunes. Comes in correct formats and all those types of things, which you're not that lucky with Photo Story, unfortunately. So that's a nice thing. However, because in regular copyright world you only get 30 seconds of music, you do need to source it either way, but because this is educational, you can probably use the whole thing, but you need to be very sure you've done a good job of listing your sources. And then if you use any information like any sort of research or you go look anything up, make sure you put that on a sources slide. Because of the fact it's really hard to get pictures with URLs right on the slide, you can do a sources slide that says like picture 1 or slide 1, picture 1, URL www.greatart.com, and picture 2 www, and do that for that. So on your sources slide you can tell people where you got your images from. If you took the pictures, please make sure you give yourself credit, because how else will I know that those are your images and you didn't take them from someplace and forget to give credit? So that's a really big deal. Just a quick reminder, www.google.com or bing.com are not sources, or I used Google Images or I used Bing is not a source. You basically told me a brand of your search engine you use. You did not tell me the page you got your information from. I should be able to go to what you have listed and find that exact information, or the information you used to paraphrase, or the picture. So be very specific with that. That's what the law says you have to do. It'll walk you through how to make PowerPoint slides into pictures. The talk right here does a pretty good job of doing that, but basically you make a PowerPoint like usual. You save it like usual, because if you don't, that's when you'll have a typo. Then you'll save it the second time by dropping the box down and doing the file format change like we did the first week when you saved Paint into a JPEG, or you saved Word into a TXT file. It's the same process. The biggest thing is make sure you know where it's going, because as you save it, it'll save, do you want to save this one slide or this slide or something, or do you want to save them all? You want to save them all, and then it'll make a nice folder and put them all in there. At that point, they're just like any other picture or any other image. You insert them just like you inserted any other image. Now, you may want to move them to iPictures because that's the one that interfaces the easiest with iMovie. But make sure you do know where they are, otherwise it's going to be a I have to go hunting for them first project. This talks you through it. So first you're going to go to File, and then you're going to go to Save As. Then you're going to click the drop box open, and it will let you go up here and choose JPEG or JPEG. JPEG is right here. Either one, they're the same. You can save it as a PDF, just so you know. The only problem with doing that is that won't work for this project. So this project, we're going with JPEG or JPGs. You choose that, you hit save, and you're good to go, as long as you can find them. I already mentioned the sourcing part, so be sure you read through this and listen to the information on it, because it'll give you more information and making sure you've done copyright and stuff correctly, because I really do grade down for errors in that area. Uploading. On iMovie, make sure you have it done and it's in an MOV file. If it's not in an MOV file, you're not done, and I won't be able to open it. That goes back to watching your email on Sunday and Monday, because if there's a problem, I'll try to let you know so you have time to fix it. I'll open the link again in Moodle and give you time to fix it. I hope. Now, obviously, if you're the last thing I grade on Monday at 11:30 or 11:45, it may not happen because I have to get all my grades in. But I try not to push it that close, so it shouldn't be a problem. Again, if you're wanting to do extra credit, if you've not done 2 book projects, if you've done 0 or 1, you can do a second final project. It follows the same exact rules, which means you have to have a title slide, an ending slide, and at least 6 data slides in between. More is better, up to a certain point. Obviously, don't go over crazy, but you need to have at least that much to qualify for having completed the project for a grade. And then make sure, like I said, it's in the MOV file so I can upload it. Give yourself time to finish it up and get it uploaded so that it doesn't run into that 8 o'clock closing. That takes us to the end of what you'll need to do for an iMovie final project.